Hey everybody, Bryce Mooney here, WLD professional long driver, and today I want to break down Jon Rahm's swing with his driver specifically. He averages 120 miles an hour clubhead speed and 313 yards this season off the tee box, and with what most people call a little bit of an unconventional swing. So let's dive in, let's see how he generates so much power and accuracy with his swing. Now, the first thing that I always notice is his takeaway. That first foot or two of clubhead travel on his takeaway. The first thing you'll see is that clubhead goes straight back in line with the target. He doesn't pull it inside too quick. He doesn't cast it out. Going straight back on that target line really helps him stay on plane and sets him up to swing on plane throughout his entire swing. The other thing that really goes unnoticed is a very slight move. If you watch in that first foot or two of takeaway, watch his left toe go up in the air slightly. And what that shows me is he's shifting his weight to his right side, although ever so slightly. That is a really strong power move to generate power from the ground starting in his right foot. You'll see a lot of players shift weight into their backside right as they take the club away, and this really initiates the energy transfer from the ground. Now when we get to shaft parallel in his backswing, he's at about this point he's going to start transferring his weight back towards his front side. It doesn't stay on the backside very long, but he gets it there early and then uses it to subtly push off into his front side in the remainder of his backswing. The one thing too I notice here at shaft parallel is his club face is parallel with his spine. That shows that he's got a square club face. It's not open, it's not closed. It's in a really good position to stay square throughout his swing. The other thing you'll see here too is his hands are under his left armpit and the club head is all in the same line there. Again, showing that he doesn't bring the club inside too quick, nor does he flare it out. It's really an on-plane type of swing. Everything here looks pretty textbook, but we all know Jon Rahm's backswing gets pretty short and that left wrist bows quite a bit compared to most people. So from here to the top of his backswing is really where it becomes unique to him. Now you see that left wrist bow, and really what that does is it stabilizes his club face to stay square throughout his entire swing. You see his club face facing up at the sky. This is another checkpoint to indicate that his club face is square. If that club face was faced towards the target, he would have a very open club face. If that club face was facing towards us, the viewer at this standpoint, he would have a very closed club face. So right here, he's setting himself up in a great position to hit the ball accurately and straight. And the other thing too, with his short backswing, everybody wonders how he gains so much power and hits the ball over 320 yards consistently with such a short backswing. And it's one thing that I've really learned this year is in my quest so far, I've gotten up to 215 mile an hour ball speed, and climbing is 95% of your power comes from this portion of the backswing. Anything extra you get might get that extra 5% of power and distance, but you really start sacrificing dispersion and accuracy. Guys like Jon Rahm and Tony Finau are a perfect example and case study that proves that last 5% of your backswing that you really take it far back and get that extra rotation doesn't get you that much more speed, only roughly about 5% from my learning. So really he's found a great balance for him on what proves to be accurate, but also he's still able to swing the club 120 miles an hour because he's using his big muscles, his legs, using the ground as we mentioned to generate club speed, and using the long levers that he creates with the width in his takeaway that we see. So when we start the downswing here, this is the amazing shallowing move that he does as good as anybody else. And the checkpoint here is that his shaft cuts his right bicep in half. If you have your shaft in this position, kind of splitting your right bicep, it indicates that you have a nice shallow club path. If that shaft was intersecting his right shoulder, it would be a checkpoint to say, hey, you're getting a little bit steep with your shaft. But this is a great position as he shallows the club and drops his hands into the slot. And you'll notice here, he just started his hip turn, and he really waited for his hands to set in that slot before he started really opening up his hips and then his shoulders. And you can see with his left foot, he has got his weight fully into his left side at this point. Again, using the ground to generate club speed and additional power. And from here, really all he has to do is rotate, and he has his hands in such a good position throughout his entire swing. He just has to rotate his body to deliver the club, and it will be, when your name is Jon Rahm, it will be straight and far more times than not. Another good checkpoint here, shaft parallel on the downswing P6. You can see that the club face is parallel or perpendicular up and down with the ground. Another checkpoint showing club face is square at this position in the swing. And from here, again, he just rotates through, has beautiful contact. Even though he hits a slight cut, he's really not swinging over the top more than a degree or two. And at impact position here, P7, the fact that you can still see his left arm slightly and his right arm isn't covering up his left arm shows that he's not swinging over top of the golf ball, but really swinging down the line nicely. And from here, he's just going to have a nice smooth follow through, and the balance is what really strikes me. He's swinging fast, he's hitting the ball over 300 yards, but he's very balanced in doing so. And if I might add, that grounds crew employee right there with his hands up was quite trustworthy of Jon Rahm in this swing. I hope you enjoyed the video. Comment below, let me know what your favorite aspect of Jon Rahm's swing is, and if you're trying to implement it into your swing as well. And make sure to subscribe, because next video I'll be doing a face-on analysis of his swing in addition to this down the line. So stay tuned, and we'll see you again here shortly in the next video.